Welcome back to the Break Free Podcast. I am your host, Rachel, and I am just loving doing these podcasts, you guys. I'm loving the Break Free Podcast. I'm loving the interviews. And now I'm loving just coming to you one-on-one and just, having this time with you to just take 10 to 15, 20 minutes to really dive in on different areas of your life that, the self-growth, right? Self-awareness, self-growth, and really working on those things. It's been really fun to do it in that way. I get to coach people every single day and get to work through these things with them, but just fun to be able to put these podcasts out there and let this information be accessed by so many. And, when I bring out this information, you guys, I always hope that you take at least one thing from it. That's how any podcast or anything that you listen to is, or when you're reading a book, you're going to take away the pieces that you need to hear that are going to be the most beneficial for you. And so I hope the same thing with this podcast. With my clients, I get to dive even deeper into these things and really work through them on an individual basis. But the stuff that I'm giving you here, right here on the podcast, are just money, you guys, just money. So I hope that you are utilizing this. All right, today we're talking about limiting beliefs. And I love this subject because I am a true believer that this is something that holds people back from being able to pursue what they really want in life, what they truly desire. And it typically, for them, it's, we all have hinges, our hinges hold us together. And, if we're a door, we have our hinges, it holds us together. And if our hinges aren't on properly and they're not connected and running the way that they should be, the door is not opening and closing the way that it should. So, little analogy there. And you got to make sure that those hinges are on right. And one of those, a way that your hinges could be off is in your beliefs. And I would say that's true for anybody, where I'm always working through limiting beliefs, always. But I truly know that those are the things, if I can work through that, ain't nothing going to stop me, right? Nothing's going to stop me because I don't have that belief anymore that I am not capable of something or that I can't have something or that I'm, we're going to talk about all the limiting beliefs out there, but your beliefs create your thoughts, which create your action. Whoa, how powerful is that? Beliefs, thoughts, action. So whatever you believe, creating your thoughts and then your action, right? So right now, I would like you to think of a limiting belief in your life. And I made a list so that you guys can just kind of get a gist of where I'm going with this and what I'm really thinking right now. So there's never enough time. I'm going to end up alone. I don't know what I want. People can't be trusted and they aren't reliable. I am not clear. I have no idea. Money is hard to make. Money comes, but it doesn't last. I just can't get a break. This shouldn't be happening. They always seem to have all the luck. It never happens for me. I'm a fraud. I don't have enough resources. I'm not lucky. I'm too young or too old. I don't have the right skill sets. I should be doing more. The economy is bad. Jobs are hard to find. They do it better than me. I don't know how to do that. Good things happen, but they never last. So literally the list goes on and on and on. I just wanted to give you a range of things to give you, an idea of where we're going. And maybe one of those caught you. You're like, bam, that is so me. Maybe 10 of them caught you. Maybe all, I don't know. But, somewhere in there, everybody has a limiting belief that they need to work through. And once they work through it, truly, what is available to you is endless. But if you have this hinge that's off and it's just not working right, and this limiting belief keeps getting in the way, it's going to be hard to move forward. All right, so I want to work through one of them with you to give you an idea of how to do this and practice this in your own life. So let's say your limiting belief is, I am not good enough, okay? So you have your belief, and then your belief, you have the thought, okay? And so behind the I'm not good enough, maybe it's I'll never be able to get to the level that I want to get to, okay? I'll never be able to get to that level. And then that thought creates a feeling. So what is the feeling that I'll never be able to get to that level, and that you're not good enough brings? It's that, to me, I initially think stuck is how it makes me feel. It may make you feel completely different. It makes me feel stuck. And what's the action, right? So the action is I just stay comfortable. If I don't feel like if I feel like I'm not good enough and I'll never be able to get to the level I want, and it makes me feel stuck, then I just stay where I'm at. And so the action is that I end up playing small and I end up just staying, right? So we go through, what is the belief? What is the thought? What is the feeling? What is the action? And what is the action that it brings to your life? Okay. All right. The result. Okay. So that's what I want you to work on. You're going to pick your limiting belief and you're going to work through it in those steps. Now, next thing we're going to do, because we're all constantly creating stories. We're fabulous at creating stories. Wow. So we all create stories around everything. And you are creating a story around your limiting belief. So if your limiting belief is, I'm not good enough, then what's the story behind why you feel like you're not good enough? Typically, your story is from something, not typically, it is from something you have experienced in your life. And so, whenever that was created, you're going to have to sit and think and maybe spend some time on this of, when was that story created? That I'm not good enough, right? When was the first time that really popped up? What was the scenario? What happened? When was that belief created? Beliefs are constantly being created all throughout the day, but you have to figure out, when was this belief created? If I'm looking at I'm not good enough and I relay my story to that, it would be when I was going to school, when I believe it started junior high school. I was going to school and they would always put me in different classes and put me in classes that, were assisted classes. So I always felt less than. I always felt like I wasn't good enough because they always had me, going to these classes that were for people that needed more assistance. And I found it made me feel not good enough. It made me feel embarrassed. And this is when that belief was really created for me. Okay. So that's the story behind it. And then where is, what's the new empowering decision behind that? So what's the new belief I'm creating behind that? And the new belief is that I am enough. I am enough. That is the new empowering belief and decision. But now I have to create evidence behind that belief, because just telling yourself that doesn't help rewiring your brain, doesn't help in rewiring your brain to actually believe that. So we need to rewire your brain to believe your new empowering belief. Okay. So if I'm thinking about that story and I really break apart that story, then what I come up with is that honestly, that's bullshit. And the truth is that I always have learned differently than other people. I am a creative thinker. And so the regular classroom work and the way that they did things when I was growing up, it was one way. And if you didn't learn that one way, then you often got pushed into other things because you were not able to learn the way everybody else in the class was. It didn't make me less than. It didn't make me not enough. It didn't make me as, not as smart as anybody else. It just made it that the truth is that I just learn and think differently than other people. And that actually has served me in a very beautiful way in my life. And so it's not that I'm not good enough. So that belief that was created is actually not true. It's not true. So that's the evidence of the new decision and belief. And so now my new belief is created is that I am good enough. I am enough. And that's the proof. So there's a real mechanical way of doing this. And, this isn't all just, butterflies and fairies and, fairy dust. There is a way to rewire your brain. And I am going to do a whole podcast, just around kind of how the brain works and why, it's better for us to think of our brains in that way. We are the greatest machine ever created. And how our brains actually work and how we can actually rewire our brains. And these steps that I gave you are a very simple way of going about doing that. And every time you have a limiting belief, going through this scenario, writing these things out and really working your way through it, and then repeating these things often. So I didn't just write this out and never look at it again. I've looked at it when I'm feeling like I am not good enough. I tap back into my new empowering belief and really the evidence behind that belief to really recreate the story and the belief behind it. So, all right, there you go. I hope you guys use it. I hope you guys apply it to your life. And I would love, if you want, send me an email, a message. Let me know how this worked for you, how you're utilizing it in your life. I want to hear from you guys. I love hearing this stuff. I've actually had quite a few people already reach out to me from the different podcasts that we've already done and how they're utilizing these things in their lives and the difference that they're seeing. So do it to it. Have a fabulous day. And remember, this day is whatever the hell you make it. That's the beautiful thing. You have a choice. So make it freaking awesome. All right. Till next time. Thank you for listening to the Break Free podcast by Fitness Festival Events. You can find our website at fitnessfestivalevents.com, where you can learn more about the events we have coming up, our Break Free community, and much more. For Instagram and Facebook, find us at Fitness Festival Events, or for our community, Break Free Community. For Rachel, you can find her on Instagram at rachel.pastor and email rachel@fitnessfestivalevents.com.